Boo. And guess what? We are going to be watching Let's Be Jamie. I'm leaving this video in 1 hour, so let's just jump into the video.
Alright guys, listen, you don't have much time. Right now, I want you guys to leave a like on this video.
I love you guys, dude, but why are you yelling?
After that, hit that red subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. That's notifications. If you do this right now, you guys can win $100. The winner to the last $100 giveaway I was doing last week, I actually announced this guy in last video, but YouTube screwed my video. For some reason, the video
I know YouTube's been screwing a lot of people's videos now.
didn't get sent out.
Oh, by the way, nice picture of you, or your avatar, or
To
whatever.
subscribers, so you guys didn't really see who won, or just not a lot of you didn't see who won. This guy is actually the winner of the $100 giveaway. Listen, man, I need you to redeem this, but guys, I'm doing another one right now. This is not a joke, guys. I'm giving away $100 right now. This is
I need that
literally
money.
for you guys. All you need to do is like, subscribe, turn on the bell icon, which is notification, so you get notified when I upload. Most of you guys didn't see earlier's video, which actually had the $100 giveaway winner in it, because you don't have notifications on. So turn it on. I'm being serious. This ain't no game, dude. This ain't no joke. Turn on notifications. Guys, this is your last chance. Good luck.
Bro, that's just scary. He scared me when he was yelling, and at the end he's like, "This is your last chance. Good luck." That freaking scared me. That is freaking scary. All right. Oh yeah, I got a new follower. Wait. Yay, top 10. We're gonna just go through random vids.
Look at that. That's like my lips.
Ew. That's freaking nice intro.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 times Disney cheated and reused animations. Animation is magical, and no one does it quite like Disney. However, animation is also very expensive and time-consuming, so sometimes big animators have to cut corners by reusing animation. These are some amazing examples of how Disney have repurposed animation that you've never noticed before. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to Top 10s and press the notification bell too.
No, I'm ready.
Coming in at number 10, we have The Jungle Book and Robin Hood. These movies have two examples of where Disney reused animation. You see, if you already have animation frames, it's easy to make a copy of them and then change them very slightly. In Robin Hood, they copied this dancing scene. You can see that the characters are very similar, and they do the exact same dance. Not only that, the background is structured in a very similar way. Even things like the rocks look very samey, and it only takes a few minor adjustments to do this. The second bit of repeated animation is where two different characters' heads and mouths move the exact same way when they say
is his mouth
something.
made of... No, the dude's mouth was made out of coconuts.
Say something.
Him.
This is no coincidence,
Oh my God.
and the frame has simply been changed from the original Jungle Book one to one used later in Robin Hood. Next up is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Robin Hood. This is another one from Robin Hood. It seems they repeated a lot of animation, not just from the Jungle Book, but also from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Dancing scenes are very hard and expensive to do, so another dancing scene was repeated here in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And the second time is where there's an array of animals singing and clapping. Although it looks sort of different as one is set outside and one is set inside, the frame has been repeated. There are 6 animals below, and then the 2 larger deer match the size of the large dog from Robin Hood. Robin Hood's budget was only around $5 million and raked in $32 million at the box office.
Oh my
To
God,
put
that's a
that
lot
into
of money. I
perspective,
want it.
Frozen's budget was $150
I'm just gonna
million.
jump on my phone and get it.
So the repeated animation in Robin Hood really drove the cost down and made Disney a fortune. Next up is The Truth About Mother Goose and The Sword in the Stone. The Sword in the Stone and The Truth About Mother Goose are classic Disney movies that aren't as familiar with some people. However, I had to include this instance of repeated animation because of how much it's repeated. There are pretty much no differences at all here, and they may as well have just spliced out the scene from Truth About Mother Goose and used it in The Sword in the Stone. Only minor adjustments to colouring and the quality have been made here. These movies were released just 6 years apart, so you'd have thought more people would have noticed this. But many people don't realise how much Disney sometimes repeats animation in order to cut costs. Next up is The Jungle Book and Winnie the Pooh. While
Winnie
these
the
two movies
Pooh?
do have a lot
Who's
of differences, they are similar in some ways. They're both
Who's Winnie the Pooh? No, bro, seriously, when kids were little, when they were babies, they weren't watching Winnie the Pooh. They were freaking watching, people reacting to Overwatch and stuff like that. 2-year-olds are literally not like watching Winnie the Pooh anymore. They're making videos and saying it's 2017. It matters. And I got that actually off of a Musical.ly person. It's a Musical.ly thing. Alright, let's just get back to the video.
About young boys venturing out into the wilderness with only animals as their friends. The Jungle Book was released in 1967, but much of the animation was reused 10 years later for Winnie the Pooh. One shot of Christopher Robin and Winnie walking on a tree was repeated in the Jungle Book, and even the arm movement's the same. Also, when Mowgli throws a...
Oh my god, I didn't notice that. Wait, why are they holding leaves? I don't understand, why are they holding leaves? But I didn't even notice that. I mean, I've watched almost all of the Jungle Book movies and some of the Winnie the Pooh movies, and I've never noticed how that's the same. Oh my god. Disney, you're a cheater. I gotta be a douche sometimes.
Stone of a cliff, this has also been reused in Winnie the Pooh as well. Even the fact that the characters are holding a small twig is the same, as it's much easier to do this rather than reanimate a hand. Did you ever realize these amazing similarities between these two movies?
No.
Next up is Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast. These two movies' titles are pretty similar as they both include the word
I actually
beauty.
thought that before.
But the similarities do not
similar.
end there, because one of the pivotal scenes of the movies are repeated. During the grand dance scene, you can clearly see the same animation has been used in both movies.
God.
The dancing is the same, as I already mentioned that animating dancing is time-consuming and costly. But also the flooring is very similar, and even the colours are pretty samey. As Sleeping Beauty was released 4 years after Beauty and the Beast, the quality is better. But what do you think about this reuse of animation?
Oh, okay, that's her hand. I thought that was like, he's touching up on her boob. I'm like, bro, what the heck is wrong with you? I know you're a beast, but you have to be so weird. You guys just met like a month ago and you imprisoned her. How are you falling in love with her? That's like one of the most things, that's like the things that I don't understand most about this movie, is that he literally captured her and imprisoned her in his castle. I mean, sure, he gave her a whole entire library and stuff like that. How is she falling in love with him, though? He's literally has hair all over him, and he imprisoned her in a castle. I don't understand how they fell in love, but it is a pretty romantic story.
Next up is The Adventures of Ichabod and the Toad and the Jungle Book. We all know the classic running track.
Who remembers that movie? No one remembers that movie? Yeah, no one. Everybody should remember that movie.
Scenes and animations made popular by the Flintstones. However, Disney also did this in The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. In the animation, one character is hit on the head and then runs. Then the other character rolls and grabs him. However, this animation was amazingly repeated in the Jungle Book. This just goes to show that sometimes they build their entire storylines around what animation they already have. This can really drive down the cost of the movies, especially when it's repeated to this extent. Most people know the scene from the Jungle Book today as it's much more popular. But The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad actually had this scene nearly 20 years earlier. Next up is Pinocchio and Alice in Wonderland. This is a very simple scene. However, it just goes to show that no matter how simple a scene may be, animation can still be copied from movie to movie.
Wait, I don't understand it. How are they similar? They're literally... Pinocchio is an alive wooden doll, and Alice in this colorful land. I don't even know where this is going. I don't think I want to know how these things are similar. I've trusted Disney my whole entire lives to make me good movies. I shouldn't have done this video.
In Pinocchio, there's a scene under the sea that shows fish swimming into the frame from all angles. But fast forward 11 years and you can see the exact same scene in Alice in Wonderland. The fish move in a similar formation, and if you look closely, you can see that some of the fish are the same. Take the goldfish from the bottom left corner in Alice in Wonderland and the purple fish in Pinocchio. This is something only a Disney superfan would spot, as it's less obvious than some of the other scenes. But even so, this is clearly one piece of reused animation.
My face should be in that
Next up is 101 Dalmatians and the Jungle Book. We've already seen the animation of a character being hit on the head in The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad and the Jungle Book. But it seems banging people on the head may be pretty hard to animate, as it's repeated here in 2 movies. In 101 Dalmatians, a man is hit on the head and then clutches his head while his eyes shake around. Well, this also happens in The Jungle Book, which was made about 6 years after 101 Dalmatians. If you look closely, even the small details like the eyes rolling around the head are the same motion. It's no mistake that the characters' faces and noses are so similar. As it makes it easier to animate. This shows that
You
sometimes
said that twice. Twice. Why is YouTube crapping up videos these days?
characters' designs are changed in order to fit in with repeated animation. Next up is The Sword and the Stone and The Jungle Book. These 2 movies are repeat offenders when it comes to reusing animation. Well, I can assure you that there is one more very similar part to both of these movies. In The Jungle Book, there's a scene when Mowgli is leapt on by 2 dogs and is licked. But did you know this already happens in The Sword and the Stone? The animation was very clearly reused, and it's a very well-known part of the movie and cute for dog lovers too. Did you catch this bit of repetition when you were watching the movies, or is this the first time you're seeing this repeated animation in action? Next up is The Sword and the Stone and The Princess.
No. I'm ending this. I'm not. I'm going to. I don't care if it has 1 second left. I'm not doing this. I love those movies. I'm not gonna watch them faint away. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you wanted to watch the video, you know the title up top. You can just read that and search it in, because I don't feel like giving a link. So anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe in the comment section, and remember, if you are new to this channel, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can get notifications when I post daily. Bye everybody.